You're in the right place for the best real estate advice in Windsor, Essex. It's the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show with your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team.
Welcome back to the show. Again in studio with me today, Kathy Talbot, Susan Riem, sales reps with the Dan Gemus team. And we have another regular guest that's been on with us.
Becoming a regular, yeah.
Yeah, becoming a regular. John Miceli, the Town of Amherstburg CAO. And John, we've been joking, but a permanent seat at the table here because it seems like every other week the town has amazing things happening.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you, the Dan Gemus team. But there's some really exciting times in the town of Amherstburg. That's for sure.
We love to hear that. And so a couple weeks ago, if people were tuned in, they heard you talk about the town's offer on Duffy's.
Correct.
And that exciting stuff. And now, at the same time, was it the same meeting originally that the council had said, let's not move forward with this Bellevue purchase because we've got it's too much going on with Duffy's?
Well, that's what happened, right? There was a little bit of concern from council, and I can appreciate that, right? There were two major investment decisions on the town's behalf, and council just didn't feel comfortable at that point in time. But with regards to an overwhelming response from the community,
sure.
And you know what? Once again, I keep on saying to folks, this council is listening to its residents.
Yep.
They heard it loud and clear from the residents that they wanted council to do something with the Bellevue property. And so residents came back to council and asked council to reconsider it. And fortunately for all of us, council did listen and council approved the acquisition. So
let's tell folks out there, people listening that aren't familiar with the Bellevue property, what is it exactly, John?
Well, it is a historic home built in 1816. It is probably one of the top 10, and it is one of the top 10 endangered properties in all of Canada. So it's on the National Registry, and there's been movements made by various groups, but nothing's ever really materialized. So with us getting involved, that being town council, we were able to secure the acquisition. Now, let's make it very clear to all of our viewers and all of our listeners out here that the report talks about council acquiring the property. Now, we are going to be going to the residents, and we're not looking for a tax increase.
Yep.
We're looking at trying to secure grants and fundraising efforts to try and restore this property. So that's the whole premise on the restoration of the Bellevue property, is to work with our community. They told us they wanted it. So now let's put our money where our mouth is, and let's see if we can raise the money and get the grants to make this happen.
Because, of course, when something like this is announced by any town council, it doesn't matter which town, some residents start, panicking and, oh my gosh, my taxes are going to go up and, doom and gloom. That is not necessarily the case.
No, definitely not. I mean, Amherstburg's been criticized for its financial hardships and the way it's dealt with things financially. What we're doing now is taking a responsible approach to acquisitions and developments.
Yep.
So what we said here is, and if anybody wants the details of the acquisition, they are available online. We did acquire the property for $1.1 million and a $200,000 donation receipt. But the one good thing in working with the vendor, because the vendor really wanted the town to own the property, they gave us some exceptional terms. We have a 5-year mortgage with 0% interest, $200,000 payments annually. I mean, there's no one out there that would have done that except for this vendor, right?
I was looking for other takers,
Well, but let's be quite serious, Dan. At the end of the day, that shows the vendor's intent of wanting them to have the town own it.
Yep.
And I think we have to commend that family, the Offner family, for helping us out in that particular acquisition. And we are going to be paying for this annually through an allocation of our capital budget. So we're not incurring any debt for this. And I want to make that very clear. People keep on talking about, we're going to raise the debt. No, we're not doing that, folks. We're doing it in a responsible manner. We're going to be paying $200,000 a year out of our capital budget, and there's going to be no additional debt for the acquisition.
So really, how can you go wrong?
I can't see it going wrong.
Gem.
It is an incredible piece of property. And if you've seen the video with for folks out there that are listening, you can go to the Amherstburg website, www.amherstburg.ca. You will see the conceptual plan for the restoration of Bellevue and all the amenities that we're proposing in the long-term plan.
So what is the plan for the property?
Well, the property is about 8.6 acres, and it's just a tremendous piece of property right in the heart of town. Anyone who knows where it is, it's located on Dalhousie, backs onto Sandwich. So we've got a potential of having a secondary entrance coming in from Sandwich, which is probably what we're going to be doing, because we don't want everybody coming in off Dalhousie. It's a residential street, and it's a beautiful street. But we've got it set up. There's so many amenities. There's 5 feature gardens. There's a conservatory that will help us. There's an English garden that's set up in the middle. There's a little stage for theater works and things of that nature on the property. And the other thing that we're looking at doing is creating a greenhouse. We've been known for all of our great plantings, our hanging baskets, things of that nature. And for you folks who don't know Annette Zahalek, she is a fantastic parks manager. And from our perspective, what we would like to do is capitalize on her skills and our town skills for all of the gardening that we do and that we're well known about, and create an area for plantings that we can do our own product and sell to the product, and sell to the public.
Can't wait.
So, I mean, I was very fortunate when I worked in Windsor. We would do an annual plant sale. We'd raise $60,000 on one weekend from the annual plant sale.
Oh my goodness.
So those are the types of things that we're looking at, trying to offset our operating costs.
So there were many integral groups that had a big part in this moving forward. Do you, and some examples are, the Bellevue Cultural Foundation, the Friends of Bellevue.
Friends of Bellevue, yeah.
Do you think they had a hand at getting this through?
I think that group really did mobilize at the end and did approach council and came to council and spoke. They had their spokesperson, Michael Prue, who came and made a presentation to council.
Yes.
Michael was very, I believe, influential on his presentation to council. Here's a former mayor of East York of Toronto, a finance critic on behalf of the NDP party, and he's looking at the deal that we were able to negotiate, and he's saying, listen, guys, be bold. He used Tommy Douglas's quote, which I loved. He says, be bold, dream big. And, that's what we're doing here. We've set up the framework to dream, because we've never had that ability before. And it'll be up to the residents to decide how far we go in this dream, right? Because ultimately, without the fundraising, without the participation of the residents, without the grants available from senior levels of government, I don't know how big of a dream we're going to get, but we've got the landscape presented for people to consider.
Amazing. So we'll have you on again, I don't know, next week with some more announcements. What else? What else is happening out that way?
Well, we're really we're focusing on a lot of things right now, right? One of the things that I've got some major concerns is we're lacking inventory or stock on our residential lots. We're down to about 72 lots in the town of Amherstburg. You should have 2 years of inventory. We don't have 2 years of inventory in Amherstburg. Things are selling. They're pretty hot in that market. I think they're going to continue to be hot because people love our town. They love the amenities that we provide. We're working desperately with the developers to try and get things brought on stream, but there's so many governmental processes now that take time to navigate through. And hopefully we can get that sped up, because we do need to get more lots on stream for the town of Amherstburg. We're going to, once again, as I stated the last time I was on here, we're looking at our planning documents. We're looking at trying to create, in our official plan and in our, we're going to create a community improvement plan where we're going to try and create the focus to create the climate so that we can improve our downtown and hopefully get that hotel for the town.
Yeah.
Things that people need to understand is it's been addressed by many of the community that they want a hotel in the town of Amherstburg. We know that. With us acquiring Duffy's and taking that out of the inventory, that's approximately 32 rooms that are going to be gone out of inventory. So I feel very, very optimistic that we're going to get a new hotel in the town of Amherstburg. Where it's going to be located, I don't know, but we're creating all the conditions to make that happen. So I'm hopeful that one day I can be back on this show saying, the hotel's coming, folks. We said we're going to deliver. Here it is.
And speaking of Duffy's, any updates on that? Is things still proceeding?
Oh, yeah. Things are still proceeding. We're going through the process right now. We're working on, there's 2 conditions that we do need to fulfill to get it, to close the deal.
Sure.
That being the appraisal, so that's being undertaken right now. And the second one is we're just negotiating for our environmental assessment on the property.
The appraisal won't be an issue. From a realtor standpoint, the appraisal will not be an issue. That's fantastic. Listen, John, anything else you want to mention?
Well, I do want to mention that once again, another great announcement for the town of Amherstburg is that we've been selected as one of the communities to help Canada celebrate its 150th birthday. So we have the 150th birthday celebration garden that's going to be happening Wednesday, October 19th. There's going to be a planting in Kings Navy Yard Park. We've been selected by the Canada Commemorative Committee, and through the help of our local hardware store, Wagle Home Hardware, we're going to be planting 1,300 tulip bulbs.
Beautiful.
In the Kings Navy Yard Park, and we're going to, if it all works out well, it'll look like the Canadian flag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Who's in charge of that?
Once
that
again,
Canadian flag.
it's Annette Sahalik. She's fantastic.
Holy moly, that'd be a project.
Yeah, Annette's done a really good job. I don't know if you noticed this year we added the raised planting garden in Kings Navy Yard Park, which really looked really good. Yeah. You know, we're very blessed. I think as a community with our size, to have the staff and the dedicated staff and, you know, the talent of that staff, it's incredible.
And
it really is.
Awards, right?
We win awards all the time.
Year
Year after year. And once again, I remind people, take a look at the video for Bellevue on our website.
Yep.
If you look at the strengths that we have as a town, they're all promoted in that video with regards to, you know, the garden areas, the plantings, our ability to hold events and festivals, and celebrating the house in itself, right? I mean, it is an incredible piece of property, and I think we've made the right decision on acquiring it. I think going forward, it's going to be a tourist destination for people to come and visit, and I think with all of the amenities we have, that being, you know, the museums, that being Fort Malden, that being the enhanced Kings Navy Yard Park when we get Duffy's done, and Bellevue, it's just incredible. It's a fantastic opportunity for not only the residents but all of the region.
Sure, it's amazing.
Yeah.
How exciting!
Yep.
I'm excited. You know, to be the CAO of a community with this much going on, it's to me, it's, you know, it's exciting. I'm very happy working with Mayor Aldo DiCardo and council. I mean, we're heading in the right direction. There was a lot of negative things that were communicated, but I think we're making all the right moves and all the right decisions going forward.
You know, and it goes to you know, the strength that you bring, right? And you've only been there. Has it been a couple of years?
It'll be 2 years. It'll be 2 years, October 20th.
And the things that have been happening with your help have been outstanding. So keep up the great work.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank
it's amazing.
Well, thank you for your commitment to the community and your passion. My goodness.
I you know what? I feel so blessed that I've been given this opportunity to come and help the town. You know, I was very lucky because I had a lot of good mentors when I was at the City of Windsor, and they gave me a lot of opportunity to improve and to develop my skill set. And now I've brought all that to the town of Amherstburg, and you know what? With the team that we've got there, we're going to produce a winner.
I'm sure Windsor wants you back. Well, too bad.
That's right.
It ain't happening. Well, John, listen, thanks for coming in again today, and we look forward to many more of these chats.
Thank you very much.
Months and years.
Keep selling, Dan. Keep selling. We need it. We need it. We need the assessment. Keep selling.
Listen, we appreciate it, and we'll be good. It's again, John Miceli, the CAO of the town of Amherstburg. Always fun to have him on, and lots of great things happening out that way. Yeah, ladies.
Incredible.
Lots more to come. When we come back, we're going to have Chris Gibb on the show telling us all about some insurance woes that people have been dealing with this flooding and how to avoid it, how best to make sure you have good coverage for your basement in your house. Okay, lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.